Hello. Today we're going to talk a little bit about ChatGPT versus Grok versus Claude. So what we want to do is just kind of take a look at what each one of them provides us when trying to utilize them for coding perspectives, right? So how do we utilize it to generate camel routes? How well does it do when working with ActiveMQ endpoints? What does it do with Kafka? Those kinds of things. And I wanted to see how each one of these kind of fares when you're asking it this same exact prompt. Now, I know each one has a little different nuance to it and doesn't necessarily require you to, but would like you to prompt your requests in a certain way. But today we're just going to take it from a newbie standpoint to say, you know what, a lot of times you just go in there and you say, this is what I want. You don't take the time to learn all the nuances of each one of these AI tools. And I think in this case, we're just going to take a nice simple command prompt and we're going to drop it into each one and we're going to take a look at it and see how it fares. And the funny thing is I wanted to start out real simple. So what I did is I decided, let me just go ahead and take a look at how this would do if I said, you know, create me an image. I wanted a nice kind of fun image that was going to work right out of the gate so that I could have it on my screen. So let's take a look at what it generated with these prompts. So the first time I went into Grok, I created the prompt that I wanted, which was create an image of ChatGPT versus Grok versus Claude for code generation. And this is what it gave me. Not quite what I'm looking for. So I went into Claude. What does that create? This is more like a slide deck. It's good. I mean, I might use this for something else, but it's not quite, you know, that kind of wow thing that I was looking for when, you know, having a video up. So ChatGPT generated this. Exactly kind of pretty much what I was looking for. So with that, that's the screen you get. So first round goes to ChatGPT. So without further ado, let's get after it. What we're going to do is we're going to take a prompt. I'm going to start a new one here. Are they all set up? We're going to take rid of that. It's a new prompt there, new prompt there. Okay, perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a prompt. What this allows us to do is, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a camel route. This is the prompt I'm going to copy and paste in each one of our AIs. So what we get is camel route that will read from a Kafka topic with this endpoint. Again, we're just going to read from a topic called pizza orders. This is the broker location. And then this is the payload that I'm expecting to get. And with that, since I'm telling it this payload, I want it to split on each line. And then I'm going to take each one and write it out to an ActiveMQ endpoint. Pretty simple, not much to it. Let's just see what this takes. So I've copied this, and now let's move this. And since ChatGPT won the first round, we're going to start with ChatGPT this time. So let's take a look at this. Let's paste this in, and let's send it. All right. Wow, great request. Oh, thank you, ChatGPT. All right, so it's generated us a route. Look how simple that is. From the Kafka, pizza orders, local endpoint, there we go. It even gave us a route ID, which is actually a fairly important concept. Logging, great. It's going to tell us what the body of the message was. It's going to split based on the carriage return. It's going to log it out, and then it's going to write it. Perfect. Simple, not a lot to it, not fluffy. But this is a fairly good, well-written route. Great. So now let's paste in to Grok and see what we get there. Okay. That's a lot more concise. Not wrong, just very concise. So this, no fluff, no frills on this one. You get from the Kafka endpoint, you're going to split it, tokenize it, and then write it to an ActiveMQ endpoint. That's a much smaller implementation. You'd still want to come in and probably do things like what you have here, but it's not wrong. So technically, I guess, I mean, you could come in here and probably say, can you add logging and a route ID. Yeah. So, I mean, it took a little more prompting on the Grok side to get it right, I think. I still think ChatGPT won that round with that one. Let's take a look at how Claude does. Not too bad. I mean, this is kind of like, it's right in between. Didn't quite give us a route ID. Did give us logging out of the box. That's not bad. I mean, honestly, out of these three, ChatGPT for this instance, I thought did a better job. ChatGPT won the round. I mean, this is a pretty good route. Concise. Should run out of the box. Nothing wrong with it, and it actually came through with some pretty good explanation. Again, I think ChatGPT won this. Both times around. There you go. So what I'm going to do is I copied that code directly out of ChatGPT, and I'm going to paste it here. So let's just verify. It gave me a route ID, gave me the log statements. Everything there looks good. I've already configured Kafka on ActiveMQ, and I'm actually starting it up via the Compose. So everything in the environment is ready to go. It's been tested, so it should work. So let's just go ahead and start this one up. So let's run that. Okay. That made the connection. Okay. So we're good there. So now the code is here. And what we can do is it started, everything's running. Now what we need to do is just go ahead and post something to the Kafka topic. And it just so happens I have a project from one of my earlier videos that takes content from a file, drops it onto Kafka. And it just so happens, weird, that it goes to the same Kafka topic. So I'm going to go ahead and just go to that project. And it's the Camel Kickstarter. And it will read off a file and basically load it into Kafka. So we'll see what happens. What we should see is down here, after the startups statements are made, then what we should be able to see is processing of the records coming in. And what it's basically doing is it's pulling off of the Kafka topic, which we'll be posting to up here, and it's taking those, splitting those up, and throwing it onto an ActiveMQ instance. So let's just go ahead and see if it works. I can start this using the same, here we go. Start up the producer, you can see it go through, and here's our messages. Just like we're expecting. So perfect. So pretty simple. So from that standpoint, I would say that I'm going to give the thumbs up and the clear winner to ChatGPT for this generation of code. Obviously, again, this is some pretty simplistic stuff, but the use cases are actually fairly common. Being able to pull off of a Kafka topic and then being able to load it into a queue. This allows you to read a Kafka topic and allow it to function just like you would for a queue, so that other clients can attach and treat Kafka data like it's a queue. So it's a common use case that I actually run into quite a bit. As you can see, it doesn't take much code, and all of them did a good job, but I'm going to give the thumbs up to ChatGPT on this one. It just did a better job right out of the gates, giving me kind of what you'd want from a developer standpoint. It gives you the route ID, the logging statement. It just did a better job kind of assembling it. The other piece to it is it just kind of gives you an idea of what you may need from the dependencies, things like that. So I thought it did a pretty good job. The other two would work. I don't think there's anything wrong with any of these. But again, I had to add to it or ask Grok for more to get what I wanted from Grok. And then Claude, it did a fairly good job too. It missed the route ID, which again is actually pretty important for both of those to miss that. And you could always ask for it, but the nice thing about ChatGPT is it gave it to you out of the gate. So with that, ChatGPT gets the thumbs up from me on this one. All right, we'll catch you on another one. Cheers.